What is up, my fellow firearms autists? Everyone knows you're not a real gun tuber until you make a video about painting a gun, so here we are today. This is my DMR, my go-to AR, and this is going to be our subject of the day. Is there a tactical advantage to painting your gun? Yes. Is there a hunting advantage? Perhaps. I'm just doing this because I think it's fun. I like the way they look more when they're painted. I think black guns get boring after a while, so why not take your black guns and make them not that? So anyway, without too much further ado, let's get started. Okay, so obviously step number one of painting is not painting whatever you don't want painted. So I'm actually going to paint everything here, scope, iron sights, magazine, everything, except for the sling. I would like this to match, however, it's going to soak up all the paint. It's not going to look good anyway, so I figured I'm just going to take it off. So. Step number two is surface prep. Obviously, if you're painting a car, you're going to be using multiple different kinds of sandpaper, and it's going to take you hours, if not days, to do. Fortunately for me, this is gun. I don't care that much. This is what I'm doing. So I've got a stripping pad here, just get it real rough, and then some steel wool to get some finer scratches towards the end. Obviously, just real quick over everything. Just be cognizant of areas that you're going to be taping off. There's no sense scratching something up like I'm going to be painting, or I'm going to be taping off around the top of the iron sight. There's no reason for me to put a bunch of time into roughing all that up just to tape it off and it not get painted later. So. All right, the scuffing stripping pad down. Now for the steel wool. So I know a lot of you are saying one of two things. One, you don't need to do any surface prep, just wipe it off and run it. You're probably correct. However, that took me like 4 minutes, so it's not a big deal. I'll just do it, and if the paint sucks, I know that that wasn't it. I know it's something else. And two, you might be saying, oh, I just did all of this. Why didn't I touch the barrel? Because I'm actually going to take my handguard off, because this is all shiny stainless. I don't want to paint all of this and end up missing spots underneath the handguard, so I'm going to take the handguard off and actually paint the barrel first. Man, I have never taken that screw off evidently. Holy crap. Alright, now that that's off, the barrel will get the same treatment. Ta-da! Now, ideally, to get this all cleaned off, my air compressor full of air, it currently has no air, so I'm not going to blow this off. I'm just going to hit it real quick with some degreaser. I'm actually going to switch rags for that. Degrease some of the areas like around here, around the barrel. Just some of the places that I know I've had like oils and whatnot leak out of. Where the two receivers meet, you get that your internal is good and oiled up. Sometimes you'll see oil leaking out of there, so getting some of that degreased. Some of the main body. Want to make sure you get good adherence around here. Now with my clean ish rag, just spend a couple minutes getting all the dust off. Now, as mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and tape off the last few things that I want painted, just not all of. So obviously your scope. I'm going to put just a little bit of tape around here and then cap off the lenses, my iron sights. There's some springs and some buttons and whatnot down here. I'm going to go ahead and paint that. I'm just going to try not to blast it, but I am going to tape off the actual sights themselves and the ears on either side. Make sure you do a halfway decent job taping off your scope for obvious reasons. It'd be a real shame if you spent however many hundreds of dollars on your scope trying to get that great glass clarity and then you immediately just smoke it with some $5 spray paint. Ruin it. If I was going to be really careful with this, I could just cover my front sight post and go ahead and let the ears get painted. But I figure the black ears against the camo gun will stand out a little bit better, so why not just leave them? All right. Assuming I'm not missing something, we should be good to go. Here's the paint I'm using. Make sure you can actually see that. Nice dark green is my base coat. One thing to keep in mind here as I'm doing this, your gas block has to slide off. This is typically a pretty tight fit, and paint does add thickness. You would be surprised how much. So as I'm painting the barrel here, obviously I'm going to get good coverage, but I don't want to just hose it on and potentially make it harder to get the gas block off. Hopefully I'll be able to get the gas block off with that extra paint material on there. Worst case scenario, I'll just have to sand this off right here and just reapply it later. So anyway, hopefully if I paint light enough, that won't happen. There your covers there. How you guys doing? You're good. Thought maybe I smoked my screen out there for a second. Now that we got the barrel coated, I got the handguard back on, and I'm ready to do the base coat across the entire gun. One thing to keep in mind, I haven't bothered to confirm that this is true, but I've heard, maybe it's a state-to-state thing or federal, I don't know. Like I said, zero research into this, but I've heard that it's illegal to cover your serial number. One, in my experience, you can still read it, so I'm not that worried about it. And two, I don't care. So cover your serial number at your own risk. So just keep that in mind. definitely need some more, but I've already got a couple little runs going on, so I'm gonna let that dry for a while and I will come back and hit it with this again later. So after the first coat, actually as I was doing the first coat, I realized I forgot to tape off the numbers for my magnifier on the scope. However, looking at it now, I can actually clearly read them. So like I was saying with the serial number, you can still read it. Like stamped numbers, you can read anyway, so I'm just gonna run it. So anyway, that's it, second coat, here we go. All right, I had a pretty decent first coat, so that quick little second one should be good enough. So I'll get my fan going. The best thing you can do to reduce your flash time is getting a fan going. So get that going again, and I'll be back in a few minutes to start with my second color. All right, so obviously the green is my base coat. That's the color that you're going to see the most. My second color is going to be, let's see, what do they call this? I don't know, it's tan. This is going to be my color that I'm going to see the least. So I'm gonna go in, put some accents of tan on there, and then once the tan is dry, I'll come back and cover up some of that tan with brown. So it'll be most, least, middle. So anyway, and then to get some lines going, because it's hard to get good fine lines with this obviously, so I'm going to be using some sticks. One might even call it a faggot. So yes, this should give me some good natural lines. So anyway, let's give it a shot. Man, I almost don't even have to do the brown. That looks pretty good by itself. Obviously, it all kind of just depends on what pattern you're going for. And like I said, I'm just doing it for fun, so also personal preference is a very big part of it. Yeah, I think I'll call that good. All right, last coat is brown. My paint can is kind of dying, so hopefully we can get through this one. Touch more. Think I'm gonna call that good? That said, I did make a happy little mistake over here on this side. Got a little too much brown in this area. I know you can't really see it. But I'm back to my green. If you get too much of whatever color, whip out the base coat, your base color, and tame it back down again. Fast forward here about 20 hours, and here's our final result. Looks pretty good if you ask me. Turned out pretty well. A little bit less green left on it than I was originally planning, but I don't have a problem with it. I think it looks solid. So anyway, very simple and easy to do. One thing to note here is I actually run my stock about here when I'm shooting, but you don't want to pull it out and have exposed black, so just make sure you have your stock extended when you're doing it. But I mean, otherwise, this took me a combined 30 minutes. This is super easy to do, looks good. Obviously, I just used some super cheap paint. Cost me 30 bucks for all of it, and I could do several guns with it. So you could always get some nicer paint, nicer spray paint, or some actual air gun stuff. Just depends on how crazy you want to get with it. But anyway, super easy, super simple to do. Yeah, solid. So before I let you go, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I will reply to your comment, and I will bring it up in the next video. I'll answer it there as well. And if you have anything you want to roast me on, let's have a little bit of fun. I got a sense of humor, so anything you want to roast me on, or good, bad, ugly, whatever, let me have it. Let's have some fun. And anyway, we'll go over that next video too. So I'll catch you in the next video.